I'd love to get your take on AI. Is it just, the flavor of the year, or is it something that's really going to drive us, like the internet has, long-term over decades?
It's a great question in a time where there is a lot of buzz about it. But fundamentally, all businesses need to be more efficient. And one of the ways to make human more efficient in their procedures and make companies and make software more efficient is empowering it with AI. The key fundamental thing that happened is the strength of software coped with and coupled with the strength of hardware, which is available now. And that opening up and the availability of data, those three factors getting together and proof of concepts flowing in indicated that there is a big use cases across the industries. So we believe it's a very real thing. In fact, we in QIA, we're a very long-term investor, very, very sizable as well. From time to time, we assess the long-term themes that we should spend time on. And AI was one of them a few years ago. We started investing heavily in things like data centers. So in addition to investing on highly volatile or kind of higher risk return businesses that we really like to invest in, we do a lot of investments in those as well. But you could also invest in a lot of things that are more infrastructure-like and would fuel AI.
So, Saira, how do you look at it? I mean, obviously, we all think about the end user, but also Mohammed is one of the large investors that's going to drive this sector. When you look at it as a CIO, what do you find interesting in terms of, industries that it's going to affect? Software, hardware, where do you look to put money to work?
Well, beyond the traditional AI plays, the other thing about AI is that it works off a ton of data. So these large industries like healthcare, financial services, R&D in healthcare, where there's tons of data, financial services investors like us who can look at our trading data and our client data and look and use AI to make us more productive and more solutions-oriented for our clients. I think it's going to be important across a host of broad industries. But like any newish sector, it has its fits and starts. So you've had this period since February 2023 where if we go back and think about that, everyone was worried about a recession last year, and instead we got February 2023 where AI became more widespread and the markets took off. So we've had that period of sort of euphoria, very limited supply of stocks, NVIDIA, Microsoft, not a ton of companies that we can invest in publicly. That's why those stocks have done so well. And now we're seeing a bit of a consolidation phase. You look at NVIDIA, which has been down over 10% in the past few days. But as I mentioned this morning, we're just back at early July price levels for NVIDIA. So this isn't exactly a massive downturn for the stock. But there will be these periods of consolidation where it gets somewhat overbought, but the long-term trends for artificial intelligence, that increase of productivity and revenue boost for companies, I think is here to stay.